On this week's show, Peloton's Black Friday sale was shared and a price match guarantee.
Plus a new 10K training program and Peloton Member Month in November, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pello Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 201 of Pello Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm John Pruitt, joined by my co-host, Amanda Siegel. Hey now, Amanda.
Hey, how are you,
Good to
John?
see you.
Good to see you too.
Lovely day in Michigan. It's 60 degrees, warm.
Crazy.
Just enjoying this weather while it lasts.
Exactly.
Because it's going away soon.
Before it turns. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, it's just you and me today. So we've got free range. The only problem is there ain't much to talk about.
I know. We're going to breeze. It's going to be a light, quick show, I think.
It is going to be a light, quick show, but we did want to bring you a show because there is some news to share with you guys today. So I guess that we can get right into it. As always, before we get started with the show, we always like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube video. Just hit the subscribe button so that you never miss an episode.
And you can always listen to us if you're on the go. We're on all podcast platforms. Just search Pello Buddy TV and leave us a review. We love those 5-star reviews. It also helps us our exposure on the platforms too, and reaching to more folks who want to watch and listen. So we do really appreciate that feedback.
Absolutely. And of course, folks, we're on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, X. Just search for Pello Buddy, and follow us for all of your latest news. And now let's get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pello news.
All right. Well, Peloton is sharing, they're starting their 2024 Black Friday sales a few weeks earlier than expected. So with some folks being able to access the Black Friday pricing early now, currently. However, for the time being, only people who have been given a referral code can access the 2024 Peloton Black Friday sales. So Peloton has been implying that these are the exact same discounts that we'll see for the main Black Friday sale and the 2024 Cyber Monday sale a few weeks from now. But they're starting them a bit early for anyone who can get a referral code or a link from an existing member. So I've seen people post asking for links and people openly sharing it. So it doesn't seem like it's a very hard thing if you want to take advantage of the sale now before it's fully public for everyone in a couple weeks. But it's the early access Black Friday sale. It's scheduled to end on November 11th. So that means the public access to Peloton's Black Friday sale is likely to begin within a week of that date, if not on the same day that the early access ends. So as part of this early access promotion, you might have received an email from Peloton about this, but the regular referral bonus is changing temporarily. So the member who makes the referral will get 1 month's worth of free all access membership rather than the usual $100 apparel credit code. So this only applies, and one other caveat, this only applies if the person buying the new device, the hardware, is a brand new all access member. So it wouldn't apply if this person was already a Peloton member with a tread or a row or a bike and they're getting an additional piece of hardware. Interesting. The biggest sales are on, and the funny thing, I don't know if you received that email, but it almost made it was kind of weird because people thought like they were receiving 1 month as a gift.
Right?
It was like the subject line was our gift to you. And then it was all of a sudden further down in the paragraph, no, you have to refer someone. So people were like, what is this, like bait and switch kind of
Yeah.
wording?
It
People weren't
definitely was a
people
little
weren't too happy about that. They kind of
right,
thought we were
right.
getting a free month. No, not quite. So the sales. The biggest sales are on the Peloton Tread Plus, which is $700 off, and more than 50% off the Peloton Guide, bringing it to $45. And all of these sales include free setup and delivery, although tax is extra depending on where you live. But Peloton's 2024 Black Friday sale on the original. So let's go through each hardware pricing.
All right.
So first up, the original Peloton bike. That will save you $150 off the bike basics, as well as give you 1 month worth of free access of the membership. So this brings the Peloton bike down from $1,445 to $1,295. And you can also save $300 off one of the packages, which includes more weights and shoes. There's the bike starter and the bike ultimate package. So keep in mind, though, that the original Peloton bike is listed for sale at Amazon as well. So it's possible Amazon might have a better deal during their Black Friday sale. So we saw it discounted to $12.28 during Amazon Prime's fall sale in October. So just check, you might want to just check both. Although Peloton is not offering a sale on just the Bike Plus by itself, the sales are only on the package combos. So the package combo ends up being a discount over the regular cost of the Bike Plus by itself. So the Bike Plus is a $705 discount on either of their packages, which is the Bike Plus starter package or the Bike Plus ultimate package. However, buying the Bike Plus starter package ends up being an effective $500 discount on the Bike Plus, and you get a free pair of weights and shoes with that. So this is because the Bike Plus starter package is typically all in $2,700 US. So the Black Friday sale brings that cost down to $1,995, which is a $500 discount over the normal retail price of $2,495 for the Peloton Bike Plus. This deal is better, just so you know, than the recently announced Costco pricing, where the Bike Plus is $19.99 if you buy it in store, or it's $21.99 delivered. The sale on the Tread Plus, now moving over to the Tread, will save you $700, which is the Tread Plus Basics package. This will bring the Tread Plus price down to $5,295 for Black Friday. You can also save $800 off the Tread Plus starter package or the Tread Plus ultimate package, which includes various amounts of weights. The regular Peloton Tread is discounted for Black Friday as well. It'll get you $300 off the Peloton Tread, the Tread Basics package, plus 1 month of free membership. And it will bring the price down on the regular Tread to $2,695 US dollars. And then they're also Peloton's also offering discounts of $450 off the Tread starter package and the Tread ultimate package as well. The Row is not seeing a cash discount this year. Instead, Peloton is doing 2 months of free membership if you buy the Peloton Row Basics package, which is the same offer for the Peloton base Row package, as well as the upgraded Row starter and Row ultimate packages, which includes different accessories. Price match. Anyone worried about, the price changing, going down? Peloton's always been pretty good and transparent about matching prices if you ever run into that situation. So at the same time this early access sale has gone live, Peloton also launched a Black Friday price match guarantee. So this seems to imply that even if you don't have a referral code, you can order now, you can price match to the early access pricing. And Peloton does note that you have to order directly from Peloton to take advantage of that guarantee. That's the one thing. You can only price match to other official Peloton sales, not third-party sites or vendors. And your purchase has to be made between November 1st and the 11th, which is the window for that early access sale. And you have to put your request in to get your price offer matched by December 2nd.
Right. Well,
There
I
it
mean, I
is.
guess this is the time to, if you're on the fence and you haven't done anything yet, this is definitely the time to do it. Those seem like pretty good, decent price adjustments, wouldn't you say? I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
It looks kind of
Yeah, it's
good.
kind of
Yeah.
odd they didn't kind of odd what they did with the row.
Very, very. I would have thought they wanted to push those more, but because
Yeah.
that works out to $100 off. Basically, it's to $50
Yeah,
a month.
basically it was like $50 a month for the membership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's about $100 off. All right, well, we'll see. We want to kind of put that out there. We'll see what you guys think of it. But for now, that is what's being offered. So if you're ready to purchase, go for it. Well, moving on, for the first time, Peloton is hosting a member month throughout November, celebrating members with new classes, events, exclusive offers, and surprises. Some of the highlights include special classes. They kind of kicked off this member month with a Robin Arzon special 26.2 live outdoor class in celebration of the marathon. So that dropped on November the 2nd. So folks that, wanted to kind of do that, I have not done it yet. It just got released this week. I believe that it's her doing it in the Run studio. I don't think she's physically outside, but we'll definitely try that and tell us what it's about. Of course, the annual turkey burn classes will return. Everybody looks forward to those on Thanksgiving morning. Alongside a Power Zone endurance ride, which is going to be with Matt Wilpers and Hannah Frankson. That's happening on November the 16th. And we're kind of curious to know how that's going to work. Will they have up big screens in both studios so you can kind of see what Hannah's doing while, Matt's not
So they're
doing
doing
stuff.
They're not doing it
simultaneously
together in the same studio?
No.
Oh,
She's
okay.
going to be in PSL. He's going to be in PSNY, but they're doing it together. So that's definitely going to be something that I think will be kind of interesting to do. The new Goodnight Peloton collection that we've spoken about previously, that's going to be launching this coming week on November the 10th. And that will offer relaxation-focused evening classes. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we saw John on there. So that's kind of fun to see what he's going to come up with. Maybe a meditation with John. Who knows? There will also be some new themed weeks and anniversaries that are going to be celebrated. Retro Week beginning November the 18th will feature 80s and 90s music playlists. And then Peloton Germany's, let's start that again. Peloton Germany's 5-year anniversary, that was a mouthful, will be marked with a scooter artist series on November the 19th and in-person events at Peloton Studios, London. And then lastly, there will be some exclusive offers and events. There is going to be a Black Friday referral promotion, which John just chatted about, allowing members to earn that free month of the All Access membership for referrals, as well as PSNY just hosted a member picture day. That happened on November the 4th. And it really was for anybody wanting to get their picture taken with their medal after the New York City Marathon. Folks could go in. They had a really cool setup where you could have your picture taken with your medal, and it was done at PSNY. I will add that at the Jarvis Convention Center, they actually had a really cool picture-taking moment with the instructors. They had a professional photographer. There was this black background. The pictures were fantastic. For anybody that had the opportunity to get their picture taken, they really turned out pretty cool. And I'm sure that, you guys have seen that. They've kind of been spotted on different instructors' stories
Socials.
and socials. Really, really cool. I was fortunate enough to get one with Jeffrey and Rad, as well as Eric and a German member. So that turned out really cool. So yeah, really, really beautifully done. So I'm assuming they used the same photographer, but these were now with white backgrounds, and folks could show their medals. And then, of course, apparel discounts. So Peloton will conduct giveaways and highlights, this is actually two separate stories. So there will be apparel discounts as well. And then Peloton are also going to be doing these, inspiring member stories on social media throughout the month, encouraging members to explore the It's Greatness of All Time collection. So that's something that they're focusing on in November in having asked members in the studio and online whether they'd be interested in sharing their stories if they have this unique, amazing story to share, and really kind of taking it back to the members. There was a great reel that the instructors had put out there as well on social, basically saying we're the ones that motivate them to do what they do and keep them going. And I like that. I really love the fact that they're kind of getting back to how it all started with us.
Back to the community.
The community. I mean, this is how Peloton initially, got its grassroots, was just from us constantly, sticking
Sharing
them up on
about
a
it.
pedestal. And yeah, exactly. So some exciting stuff to look forward to in November, definitely.
I'm looking forward to the turkey burn classes. Alex last Friday, interestingly, he taught a walk. Usually he teaches Friday at noons. He teaches a run. But for some reason last Friday, he taught a walk plus run.
And I'll tell you what the some reason was. He injured his ankle.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I remember seeing some of those stories.
He was definitely taking it easy on his ankle.
I mean, it was a nice, because usually I go balls out, he does like hit runs and the leaderboard's competitive and you just get, caught up in that. So it was a nice change of pace, actually. But he did say, he was all, where I'll be on Thanksgiving. So he's teaching the turkey burn run. I just really wish he would do a ride too, because I miss the days where he would do the turkey burn ride.
Right. Him and Robin would switch the times, right? One of them would do it early and then Robin would do it later. Okay.
Yeah. So Robin, I guess, has the sole turkey burn ride on Thanksgiving morning, and he has the run. I just wish he would still do a ride in addition. I'm just being selfish because I love the ride with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But but I'll do the run, and I'll probably do the ride as well.
Too.
Yeah.
Right too.
He also interestingly announced his new shoe that's coming from Puma.
Nice.
Which actually is real nice. It's like a white shoe with his Rise, Achieve Greatness logo. It's that little like sort of A with a line through it.
Very cool. Yeah, I didn't see that. I guess Chris missed that in the show notes. But yeah, that's very exciting for him.
I think it's because it wasn't like an official announcement yet.
Okay.
He just mentioned it kind of like in passing during, I guess, one of the walk segments in class. But it's around the corner. I think it's dropping November 16th.
All right. We'll talk about it next week.
It'll be here. Yeah, it'll be here in time for the turkey burn run.
Nice.
All right. Well, moving on. So Peloton has kicked off this new marketing campaign, if you haven't seen it, titled Find Your Push, Find Your Power. And it's a multi-phase initiative aimed at reaching a new audience, notably millennial men. So the campaign, which marks an evolution in Peloton strategy, was unveiled via a press release and features NFL stars and brothers, TJ and JJ Watt, as the official ambassadors. So according to the press release, Peloton's campaign aims to grow brand's user base by appealing to diverse groups outside of its historically strong core demographics. While Peloton has traditionally attracted a following among women and experienced fitness enthusiasts, this latest effort strives to broaden its appeal, particularly with millennial men. So Peloton stated that today, 2/3 of Peloton members are women, which provides an opportunity for the company to attract more men to the platform by using targeted messaging that resonates with their fitness needs. So very in line with, I guess, the reels and the promos we're seeing with the Watt brothers. I think there was the latest one with JJ. I can't remember if it was JJ or TJ, but he was running on a Peloton tread. And it was like his instructor audition.
Oh, wow.
Reel.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, yeah.
So he was like yelling to someone off camera. And it was funny. He was on a regular tread. He wasn't on a Tread Plus. And you could see that thing like vibrating and shake, the screen just rattling.
It does shake.
Because the guy's a big hulking dude.
Yeah, it does shake.
But interesting about the strategy there.
Yeah. Yeah, that they're kind of moving it towards that millennial male demographic. All right. Well, we shared last week that Peloton had announced their new CEO in the earnings call, Peter Stern. This week, we have a little bit more information for you. Stern will be starting January 1st, 2025, and will receive a base salary of $1.25 million per year. This is, in fact, matching former CEO Barry McCarthy's final salary. In addition, he will receive a one-time $1 million sign-on bonus with conditions. So there are conditions for reimbursement if he leaves within 18 months under certain terms. So they kind of want to make sure that he's going to be there for the long haul in order to kind of get that payout, which makes sense and kind of like that. He is also eligible for an annual performance-based bonus worth 100% of his salary. That is contingent on reaching specific company goals. He will receive an equity package of $20 million in stock options, time-based restricted stock units, and performance-based restricted stock units. So Peloton also anticipates awarding additional equity valued at $15 million annually for the following 2 years, split evenly between time-based and performance-based metrics. He will be based in New York with a 3-day in-office work requirement, as well as Peloton providing security for his commute. So we believe that he lives out in the Connecticut area, but he is required to be in the office 3 days a week, and making sure that
a little hybrid
schedule.
Kind
of, which kind of makes sense. So all positive. Again, we just got to hope that this is the secret sauce and that he's going to perform what everybody's anticipating.
Up their expectations. Yeah, I know. I saw a lot of comments and people were kind of outraged and shocked by the amount of the salary. But when you look at the overall CEO salaries of big companies with this market value that Peloton has, it's not that much in the grand scheme of things.
No.
But people are quick to voice their opinions.
People have to comment. Exactly.
Well, the Peloton digital app has undergone another small shift in how it displays some key user data, which a lot of people have noticed recently on the homepage. So where the homepage once showcased members' weekly workout streaks, it recently switched to spotlighting daily streaks instead in some cases, so day streak. So note that weekly streaks are still tracked and they're still recorded. This is just a change in what is being highlighted in the app that you see. So the new emphasis is just one of a handful of tweaks that have rolled out in recent weeks. The shift from weekly to daily streaks may offer a more immediate form of encouragement to some, helping members stay accountable day to day. So if a user doesn't have a daily streak, then the weekly streak will continue to be displayed, FYI. So while a member has a 2+ day streak active, it should display the daily streak now. So this update follows some other recent changes, particularly noticeable on Peloton's schedule and class pages. So just a few weeks ago, Peloton introduced a new icon set to distinguish between live, Premier, and Encore classes, if you didn't notice, making it easier for members to identify each type at a quick glance when you're browsing the schedule. So additionally, audio-only classes were given a refreshed display format as well, with a new little headphones icon, indicating that the class does not have a visual component to it. So just a few little tweaks there. But I kind of like the daily streak. I like to see the number of days. I mean, it's different. It's just a nice little change.
Yeah, just something different. Yeah, people haven't been happy about it, but again, people are going to find a reason to complain about something, and that's something different to complain about. Yeah. All right. Well, with the New York City Marathon now behind us, Peloton has shared that they are now offering a Road to 10K program for all those out there that are curious to get moving and see what it's all about. The latest program that was released this past week offers 6 weeks of training taught with pace targets. So at this point, the classes can only be taken on the Tread or Tread Plus. The instructors that are featured on this program are Olivia Amato, Bex Gentry, Matt Wilpers, Mariana Fernandez, JJ, and John Husking. The full class list and details can be found on the Pillow Buddy website in the program section. As you know, if you're doing a program on the app or on the well, you can't really do it on the app with this one. You have to actually be on the Tread. It only allows you to go week by week. But if you want to go over to pillowbody.com, Chris is able to kind of unlock that and get for you guys to get to see what it's all about. So as you know, they've had the 5K program for some time. And then, of course, they've had the half marathon and then the full marathon training program. So this is new with the 10K program. And while I swear, I'm saying it on here, I will never run a marathon. I'd like to try this 10K option. I think it's something that could actually be kind of fun to just see. So yeah, it's something that I definitely, want to take a look at trying. But it is 6 weeks, and I have to be committed to being in Maryland for 6 weeks where I have my Tread. And that's the only downside.
Silly catch.
Yeah. So, all right, that's something new.
Well, guest cycling instructor Christian Van de Velde will return to PSNY for numerous classes during the week of November 15th through the 17th. We've got a 60-minute pro cyclist race simulation with him on November 15th at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and a 45-minute Real Roots ride on November 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So this will be the second installment of his Real Roots series, which was first introduced last month. So it offers riders an immersive experience where the instructor will guide them through real world rides through the class plan. So he kind of talks to it. It's not like you're seeing a visual of what he's discussing or anything like that, which was some folks' expectations. But it's quite possible that he'll be recording a few classes that will be released later as a premiere on-demand classes, because historically he's usually recorded a handful of classes with each visit that he's made to the studio. And I think at least one of those is with members in the studio, if not both of those.
Nice. Yeah.
Both of those classes
nice.
At PSNY.
That's very nice. All right. Well, the 8th week of the Discover Yoga collection was just released. This one is led by Anna Greenberg. This week's program, titled Inversions, helps members explore poses like handstands, forearm stands, and shoulder stands. The series includes 5 classes designed to teach and improve inversion techniques through the progressive practices, including with a flow that incorporates all the learned inversions. So the class breakdown is basically day 1 is a 30-minute handstand foundations. Day 2 is a 30-minute forearm stand. Day 3 would be a 20-minute handstand. Day 4 is a 20-minute shoulder stand. And then day 5 is the 45-minute inversions flow. The program is available under the collections area on the Peloton app, and does not include any badges or an official opt-in requirement. So it's basically accessible for all skill levels. And I believe that marks there'll just be 1 week left. I believe it was a 9-week program. Yeah, this kind of intimidates me a little bit. Like, as it got more and more in depth, I tended to shy away from it. I kind of like my very basic flows, but I get very intimidated by these crazy things. But maybe I'll try it.
Yeah, side crow.
Yeah, no. I don't think I'm there yet.
Yeah, way too advanced for me. Well, Peloton and their weekly social media post for this week at Peloton, highlighting content for the week of November 3rd. They kicked it off with discussing strength and core for runners with Bex and Matt. So there's a 30-minute strength for runners with Matt that dropped on demand this past Sunday, November 3rd. And then there's also a 10-minute core for runners with Bex that also dropped on demand on Sunday, November 3rd. So those are out there in the library now. And next up, a new 20-minute recovery run with Kirsten that dropped on demand on Monday, November 4th. And then they have a celebration collection for Sam Yo and Hannah Frankson's 5-year anniversary with Peloton with their new greatest hits collection. It's now on demand. It's in the collection section. And then lastly, Anna Greenberg's. Check out her first Yoga Plus Pilates class, which was a 45-minute one, which dropped November 4th. And then interestingly, this wasn't on there, but I just noticed on the schedule a very rare early 6:30 a.m. ride with Cody on Thursday, November 7th. So I can't remember who he's subbing for. He never teaches that
I was just
early.
going to say, will he even be awake?
It's been a couple years ago, I want to say, maybe a year and a half ago, he taught at 6 a.m. So it's and then Jen Sherman recently taught at 6:30 a.m. a week or two ago. And that was still a great class. But yeah, it's a 30-minute 2000s ride on Thursday morning. So it's, it's already obviously on demand now.
Right.
If you didn't happen to do it live, check it out.
I'm
sure he'll be whining and complaining about the time.
Being there so early.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Peloton launched the Mark Ronson Artist Series on November the 6th. It celebrated the work of British producer with classes across different modalities. The series kicked off with 3 lane break classes and then expanded with the instructor-led classes on Thursday, November the 7th. So that's kind of unusual. Usually they'll do the instructor classes and then they'll do lane break will come a couple of days later. This time they flipped it around. The series featured popular songs Ronson has produced with artists like Amy Winehouse, Lady Gaga, and of course Bruno Mars, and will include 7 classes across formats such as bar, yoga flow, rowing, running, and of course the bike. And the instruction is in both English and German.
Nice. Well, earlier this year, Peloton and Google formed a partnership, creating some added value for both companies' members. Peloton members were given access to undisclosed Google discounts, while Google users receive some Peloton classes, which Google is paying Peloton a licensing fee for. Now, for the first time, Peloton members have a tangible benefit from this collaboration, which is a discount on 2 popular Google devices, the Fitbit Charge 6 and the Pixel Watch 3. In a recent email promoting Peloton Member Month, a special initiative unfolded through the month of November. Peloton shared details of this exclusive offer for its US-based members. The email titled Celebrate Peloton Member Month with Us contained the key details on how to access these savings. So Peloton members, they can enjoy a 20% discount on either the Fitbit Charge 6 or the Pixel Watch 3 through the Google Store using a link provided in that email, which automatically applies the discount code at checkout. And the promotion is ongoing right now. It started November 2nd, and it runs through the end of this month, November 30th, if you want to get either one of those wearables.
Very good. And then a little tidbit to share for folks out there who are students, healthcare workers, veterinarians, educators, first responders, and or in the military, and are looking at starting out with Peloton and wanting to download the app first. There is a new method for the discount verification process, which has now changed from Share ID to ID.me. So just little kind of bit of tidbit of information. If you go online, you'll see that has changed.
Well, there is currently a little bug related to Peloton's Power Zone bar, in case some members have noticed recently. It's the visual indicator that shows what zone you're in. It's kind of at the bottom in the middle below your output number. If you're riding with Power Zones, if you have that enabled. So historically, in addition to being visible in regular classes, cycling classes, once you have it enabled, you've also been able to view the Power Zone bar during Just Ride classes, the Just Ride feature, rather, and other non-class sessions. So this allows you to follow your own structured workout if you want, while not necessarily taking a traditional class. So for the past several days, though, this feature has been missing in the Just Ride feature and other types of non-class workouts. And Peloton hadn't really been clear. They said it wasn't available. They said it was a bug, but they've given an update on this, indicating that they know what is causing the issue and that there is a fix that will be rolling out shortly to restore that feature sometime next week. In it, they said that the team has root caused the issue and a fix will roll out next week, releasing starting on November 12th. So likely it won't show up on November 12th, but it could take a few days into that week. So if you're one of the folks that was, peeved by it or noticed it, help is on the way.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And there was another Peloton apparel drop, another new apparel drop this past week. Peloton introduced a collaboration with Good Park, New York City, a community-driven and streetwear-inspired collection. Of course, I absolutely loved seeing Mariana in the Peloton apparel campaign. She got to model the new streetwear, some cute track pants and sweatshirts, etc. We also wanted to update folks on the restocking fee for online orders. As you know, last month, Peloton quietly added this new restocking fee. At the time, we had reported that Peloton was still having mixed success. Members were still having mixed success on being able to return to showrooms, return their merchandise to showrooms to
Returning
avoid
online
the fee.
orders.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But there has, in fact, been a policy change, and now showrooms will not accept any returns of online orders.
Yeah.
All online orders have to be returned by mail, which means that folks are unable to avoid that $9 restocking fee. There have also been reports, though, that people who were sent the wrong size by Peloton or their items arrived and they had been damaged were still expected to pay the $9 fee. But we can only assume that Peloton are trying to fix that error. I can't imagine that if it was
I'm
an
sure
error.
it's case by case.
Right? I can't imagine that if it was an error on Peloton's part, that the member would have to pay that fee. That seems kind of a little crazy. So we'll keep you posted on kind of where that goes. But I know people aren't happy about it.
Yeah, they closed up that loophole real quick.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday. We have a couple birthdays. Milo Wedekind, birthday's on Saturday, and Aditi Shaw's birthday on Sunday. So happy birthday to both of them.
Happy birthday to both of them. All right. Well, we're going to go straight into Instructor in the News. And first up, a huge congrats to all those that ran and completed the New York City Marathon last weekend. It was truly a joy to be able to be right there on the streets of New York City, getting to cheer everybody on. It is, I did it for the first time last year, and there was just no question after the experience that I had last year that I was going to go back this year, and it did not disappoint. It truly is the most remarkable day in the city. Just watching, so many different people from different walks of life all come together, supporting strangers for the most part. I mean, there was one sign that I just loved where it said, run faster, John. And there was no person that this person was, rooting for that was John, but they figured there'd be lots of Johns on the course. And I just loved that. I just loved that. I was in awe of Alex Kowarski as he flew past me and ended the race with a 2-hour, 44-minute time.
He had an insane half at the halfway mark. He was
John,
120.
John, it was insane to watch. Just watching him, he was in the zone. He chose middle of the road so that nobody was distracting him. He was literally in the middle
of the street.
Middle of the street. He was right there in the middle of the street. He was like a gazelle. Just watching him, those legs. And it's remarkable. He's a first-time marathoner. I do have a friend that was in the class. To add this, he taught a row class at 6:30 a.m. on Monday morning after he ran
Oh,
that
damn.
marathon. And a friend was in that class, and she said to him, "So you're doing it again?" And he said he hated every minute. He said,
Oh, the marathon?
he said a one and done. And I'm like, well, who would want to do it again if
Well,
you,
yeah,
you know,
I mean,
after
doesn't
getting
get
a
any better than
time like
that.
that? I mean, you probably never get a PR after that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an insane time. So huge
He
shout
came
out
close. He came close to beating Beck's personal
oh,
marathon
really?
record. So Alex finished what, 2:30 something?
2:44.
Or 2:40.
2:44.
I think
2:44.
Beck's is 2:32.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, loved seeing Mariana shimmying her way up First Avenue. One of Mariana's trademarks is her stopping and doing her little shimmy dance on the streets, and that was obviously all fantastic. Logan was strong and happy out there. Just was amazing to see him. Kirsten Ferguson.
Where was the Peloton crew
I'll tell you in a
set
minute.
up?
Yeah, I'll tell you
Okay.
because I actually wasn't there. But Kirsten was a complete badass as she ran her first marathon. Just tears of joy as she did get to the Peloton cheering part, but stopped where we were. Just amazing to watch her. Rad was just doing his thing, looking strong and fit. And then, of course, the two German cuties, Eric and Jeffrey, having the time of their life, matching in pink Peloton apparel, dancing their way up First Avenue is kind of where I got to see
So
them.
they ran it together the whole way.
They ran it together,
Love it.
literally hand in hand. They were just adorable, filming the whole thing, just having the time of their life. And then a huge shout out goes to Peloton producer Jessie Malone, absolutely killing it on the course. We've spoken about her story before. Jessie just started running a year ago after her Apple Watch indicated that she was going into AFib. And had this, unbeknownst to her heart condition, which landed her up in the hospital. And it was, thanks to her Apple Watch that indicated her heart rate was so high. And she decided to change her way of life. I got to catch her in a half marathon in DC at the beginning of the year, and then getting to see her so strong out there, on Sunday was just remarkable. And then, of course, the members that ran. I truly am in awe of all of you, and a huge congratulations. Fantastic just to see so many Peloton members out there just doing their thing. And so many of them didn't care about time, were doing it for a great cause. People were, running for different charities, running for different folks in their lives. So it was really awesome. So I was based down on First Avenue down at 82nd, 83rd Street with a group of friends. It was tons of fun. Peloton were up at 119th Street. I did make the trek up there. I didn't get there until later on in the morning. So actually more afternoon. I was there around 1:30. And by the time I got there, Robin Arzon was really the only instructor that was left there. Travis was there as well. Most of the instructors left after the instructors had run past.
It made through.
Yeah. But I did go up, wanted to kind of see. They had some nice they had some nice swag. They were giving yellow Peloton. You could blow them up.
Spirit sticks.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
those were great because they were yellow and you could see them everywhere. They had the Peloton hand that people could use
Foam
and
hand,
wave.
yep.
And then they had cowbells with Peloton's name on them. There was a DJ, so they had a DJ playing music. It wasn't DJ
So
John
where
Michael.
were they? They had a Peloton pop-up tent. Where were they?
119th. So First Avenue and 119th.
So what mile
better
marker
location,
was
better
that?
90. They were at
19,
90.
okay.
Better location than they were the year before, I think. Definitely a better location. And it was kind of nice because the crowds definitely thinned out by the time you got up to 119th. So they pretty much took over that corner, which was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So just a fun day, a fun day.
Well, Jen Sherman was featured in the magazine The Torch, which is for the Jewish sorority, the Jewish National Sorority, Sigma Delta Tau. So it highlighted her in an interview in the magazine, which you can read. We link to it on PellowBuddy.com. But she was also at the 51st annual convention of the sorority, which was held last June in New Orleans, as the featured keynote speaker. But in the featured article she was interviewed in, which is titled "Leading More Than the Pack," some of the things she talks about, she credits her mother as the biggest influence in her life. She said, even with her continued success on the bike, she says she struggles with imposter syndrome like many others do. She says, I'm not even the girl to ask about getting past imposter syndrome. She says she just tries to remind herself to be proud of what she's built on and off the bike because it's real. And then she said, while her life has pivoted with the success of Peloton, she says, I'm still me. I'm still a mom, a wife, a friend, just like everyone else. And I'm just out here trying to be the best version of myself.
Yeah, I love the article, and I just love her way. I think I mentioned it a couple weeks ago that I had been at an event with her for Jewish Women International, and she's so humbled. It's just, I didn't know if it was just a persona. I couldn't, but I got to really chat to her on a different platform. It wasn't on a
very down to earth.
She is so down to earth. And I said to her, do you have any idea, as to the impact you make? And I know we're a small community, but just to our community. And she was like, people tell me that in line when when I'm having pictures taken with them. But, I truly have to kind of pinch myself sometimes that I do have this impact on so many. So I love it. I love the fact that she is just who she is. None of this, look, she's first instructor. None of this has gone to her head. She is who she is. She doesn't make any excuses for who she is. And I absolutely adore that about her. So huge shout out to Jen. And it was a really awesome article. So yeah. All right. Well, in an interview with Well and Good, Tunde reflects on her journey of overcoming her personal barriers and embracing new challenges. Despite not being athletic growing up, she has taken on sports that were just once outside of her comfort zone, including running the 2024 Chicago Marathon with Team Abbott. She says a group that emphasizes the accessibility of running for all. She said she was initially hesitant about running, but that she found the journey to be transformative, teaching her resilience and redefining her ideas of physical and mental strength. She shares insights on the importance of getting out of one's comfort zones to foster growth and self-discovery. For Tunde, each ran became this kind of meditation of self-acceptance, helping her to let go of comparisons, embrace each mile, and learn from both high and low moments. She is now contemplating further challenges, she says, like triathlons. And she says that she encourages others to dare to be curious enough to try. So also a really great article showcasing Tunde and just how far she's come, which is amazing.
Right. Well, rounding out the instructor in the news segment, Ben Aldis was recently on an episode of the Headstrong podcast, discussing his wellness journey, his recent wedding to Leanne, how they had the two separate ceremonies, like the official ceremony where they just had 20 family and close friends, and then the big party celebration with a lot of the instructors that we saw there. Talked about his relationship with alcohol, and having the relationship with food and cooking, how he used to eat, 6,000-7,000 calories a day and track macros and be all into that, and how that's evolved now in the last few years. And then his connection to the Peloton community.
Yeah, it was a fantastic podcast. I think what I got out of that podcast the most, John, was just his vulnerability in dealing with Leanne's cancer diagnosis. And, and just talking about how one forgets about the caregiver and the person that's kind of on the other side. You focus on the person going through the diagnosis and sometimes forget about the caregiver. And I just loved how vulnerable he is, and how he shares that, he probably should have gone into therapy way before he did, but was very open about the fact that he is in therapy, and how far he's come, and how he embraces just the help. Which I think is amazing. I think it's an amazing, to see a man being so vulnerable about that. So that was what I kind of got out of it the most. But a really awesome podcast, really, really fabulous podcast. All right, folks. Well, due to the need of an early record this week, we unfortunately will not be sharing the picks of the week on the podcast. But don't fear. You guys can certainly take a look at the show notes on the Pello Buddy website, as Chris will have them populated in there. So for all of you that did send in your picks of the week for this week, thank you for doing so. We do appreciate it. We love for the community to know, what you've enjoyed doing for the week and what's out there. So we do appreciate it. We apologize. We just had to record a little early this week, so we didn't have those up yet. So apologies for that. But next week we will be back to sharing all the picks of the week. And for those of you that have shared with me that you do in fact like a longer podcast, apologies for not giving you a longer podcast this week, because we don't have picks of the week. But we'll be back hopefully.
We're
next
still
week.
almost at an hour.
We are. We make it work. I think
We say it was quick, but
we give you our shtick. We give you our thing. I think I padded a little bit, John. I said a little bit more than I would have normally, because
you yented it up a little bit.
I did. What can I say? Well, as always, folks, we will go ahead and wrap it up. But thank you as always for joining us, for listening, for taking the time to hear what we have to say. We do appreciate it. We say that each week. We really do appreciate you coming back to hear more. And, as always, John said it in the reviews. Let us know if there's certain things you'd like to hear from us, if there are things you'd prefer we keep out. But I think for the most part, we've got it down now, right, John? I think we've got it down to a fine art.
I think so.
We give you what you want to hear.
Sounds
and,
good.
I think
Video's
so.
good.
I think so. So, all right. Well, from me here, goodbye, everybody. See you next week.
From me in Michigan, thank you for watching and listening. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pello Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pello Buddy TV leaderboard tag, and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pello Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pello Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.